Hi guys, how to close sales calls, no script needed for SMMA social media marketing agencies out there on Facebook ads. Now, this video is predominantly targeted at e-commerce agency owners out there, just because, for local businesses, a slightly different system process that you go through. But I mean, the overarching concepts are the same. So stick around to the end of this video and you'll find out exactly how I close all of my clients for my SMMA. So personally, I believe there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. So all of the courses out there teach and give you like a sales script to use. Now, this is not ideal and does not give you the best results, and here's why. If every agency, just like email templates, if every agency owner out there does the same sales script, guess what? It's going to be very, very obvious. And when people are actively looking to outsource their Facebook ads, they're probably going to be in touch with many agencies. So what sets you apart as opposed to other agencies? Imagine if someone just got off the call, with another agency owner, and you come in using the exact same script as them. Guess what? Neither of you are going to get the fucking client. And the reason why these courses gives you like a cookie cutter sales script, it's literally because, people that buy courses often want like a one-stop solution for all of their business problems. So the best way to kind of offer that in terms of value form is literally just give you a script to follow. But the thing is, do the script work? Yes, but most of the time, no, and especially not with any clients that could afford a retainer of, I'd say, even above $2,000 a month, just because they're quite business savvy as business owners. As if they're paying more than 2 to 3K a month, that means they're probably doing multiple six figures in revenue a year. So they're not like, completely new to the e-com space, meaning, they can spot a liar and a real person from like a mile away. So yeah, how do you actually close clients on sales calls? So for example, I personally do like a 2-call close, just because, these big gurus and SMMA people out there on YouTube, what they do is they do sometimes do a 1-call close. And the reason why they're able to have such high closing rates is, one, people that go to them are highly qualified individuals and also are probably already aware of them as a personal brand and already like them. And also they have a really great indoctrination process for any potential prospects. Like they have case study funnels and, like testimonials and like just that literally scattered everywhere throughout their funnels. Meaning that people who go through that and actually apply for a discovery call know exactly who they are, the exact type of results that they brought their clients in the past, and just are very familiar with the brand and very hot anyways. So without building too much trust on the call, they're able to close them, take payment, and sign the contract. For any beginners out there, I do not recommend the 1-call close. Personally, I do like a 2-call close and sometimes even more, depending on like the corporate structure of the businesses that I'm reaching out to. The first call, I literally use it as discovery and nothing else. I literally just get to know the business owner, the business, or the head of marketing or whatever, depending on if you are able to reach this decision maker straight away or not. So yeah, like I speak to them on a personal level, find out their story, about their business, what motivated them to join the company if they're head of marketing, or what motivated them to start that business in the first place. And what I tend to find is, as business owner myself, it's very easy to relate to these people on a personal level, just because every business owner out there started somewhere and everyone goes through their own struggles. And most of us share more things in common than we think. At the end of the first discovery call, I then close them on the second meeting so on the call at the end, if they qualify, by the way, that means I would just literally send them over a link, or I just ask, so let's touch base in a few days. What day is good for you? And give me a time, and then I'll get that booked in right away. And I don't get off the call until I see the confirmation. I get a confirmation that they got the invitation email for the next call as well. So yeah, and before the next call, I tend to send over a written PDF proposal with like the price plans and everything else along the way, and also a roadmap. This is literally because people buy visually as opposed to, just by you speaking to them, simply because once it's written down on paper, it looks more official. And I would recommend this when trying to close any clients above the £2,000 a month mark. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into my discovery call meeting structure. Let's get this straight. The purpose of this call is literally to qualify the prospect completely. So personally, I actually turned down about half of my meetings. So what I mean by that is, like, during the call, I find certain aspects of their business that I see flaws in, where I literally just disqualify them from the services, and at the end I literally just give them some actionable steps to take, but literal actionable steps, not like the fake kind of value, like, oh yeah, you know, like the gap between where you want to be and where you want now is like Facebook ads, so you should really look into running them. I literally tell them, you know, okay, these are the ads you want to run for this kind of audience. You might want to considering targeting this kind of demographic. Maybe this interest niche would be really, really good for you. And then how you can narrow it down, run some DPAs, connect some pixels and blah, blah. I actually give them the real stuff. Why do I do that? Now, I do not fear for a single second that they're not going to use me just because, you know, they're going to be taking all of the ads in-house or whatever. Just because if I disqualify them, that means they're probably not in a position to be able to afford my services anyways. So it really cannot hurt me in any way, shape or form to, you know, give them the actionable steps to actually help them grow their businesses, so that in the future, should they ever want to outsource it again, they would then come to me because, you know, I've already built up that trust with them. You know, they know that I know what I'm talking about, etc., etc. And also, you know, it's just really, really good karma. So right now I disqualify about 50% of people that I have discovery calls with, where at the end I literally just give them some actionable steps, and then I also say, you know, like, if you ever need any help with ads or whatever, if it's a quick question, I'm more than happy to, you know, reply to a text or give you a voice note or something like that, or even sometimes jump on a call with you if it's real quick. Yeah, it will just be really good to see your brand thrive. And then I just leave it at that. But otherwise, I close them on the next call. So here's how the structure of these meetings tend to go. So before anything, the first thing I tend to do is to inquire about their business. So I literally ask questions like, you know, tell me a bit more about your brand. What's your story behind the business? Why did you start the business? And things of that nature. Really get into their psyche and make them, you know, tell you about why are they actually passionate for their business. Because some business owners, if they just tell you, you know, I want to make money, there's nothing wrong with that, but there has to be kind of like a stronger why. And, you know, you can take advantage of that when it comes to the emotional selling side of things later on in the call. But it's just, to be honest, I just like to getting to know the business owners as a person, but also their story as well, because I find it super interesting. And yeah, sometimes I even ask at the end, it's like, oh, can I have some feedback and things of that nature, even if I do disqualify them. The biggest reason why I do, you know, asking about their personal life and things of that nature, I want to actually be able to relate to them, because through that you're able to build rapport. And one of my biggest things is, I promise you, you know, working with a client who you actually like and a business that you actually like is going to feel so much better than, you know, working with someone that you're kind of unsure about. Number two, the next step is I look at their current marketing strategy. So I literally ask, you know, what's your kind of sales process like in terms of taking a stranger and turning them into a customer? This really makes them open up about, you know, the kind of different marketing strategies that they use. And also I dig a bit deeper. So for example, on Instagram, you can see someone's tagged posts, right? So if they're implementing influencer marketing or like a bunch of giveaways or something, you're kind of able to tell through the captions of people that tag them in their posts. And if I see they're using a lot of influencer marketing, then I would kind of tailor the pitch a bit more to that and speak on a bit more, you know, the differences, the benefits, and the, I guess, consequences and disadvantages of using influencer marketing versus Facebook ads and vice versa and things of that nature. So yeah, and the next step is I get a bit more intimate on the kind of number aspect of things. So I would ask what's their current monthly traffic, you know, what kind of conversion rates they're getting for their website. You know, if it's lower than what I expect, then I tend to ask, you know, like, why do you think that is? Is it the quality of the traffic, for example? Or, you know, like, really diagnose their problems here at this stage. And then I would move on to asking about, monthly revenue, what kind of profit margins they have and things of that nature. This essentially really helps me qualify and identify what kind of, ad budgets is ideal for them. So then I would move on to asking things of like, oh, so how much would you ideally spend on your marketing budget and things of that nature? And, if it's too low, then I would disqualify them straight away. Another point I would disqualify people on is if their profit margin is below 50%, which is why I'd never work with dropshippers or, businesses that have really, really high overheads, because that's going to put insane pressure on your team members to deliver like just ridiculous results, because, they're only profitable if their return on ad spend is, let's say, above 6. That's like, a bit too much pressure on my team. So yeah, I disqualify people with the profit margin of below 50% as well. And lastly, if I decide that they are a good fit, I'm going to tell them, be like, hey, I think, I really like you as an individual, but also your business model. I think it'll be a good fit for us to work together. So the next step is, can I book you into a call so we can touch base next week? I'll send you a proposal with like the actual price. I'm unable to give you a quote right now simply because I need to hand over your sites and things of that nature to my team, where they'll take a deeper dive along with me to really dig deeper on your marketing strategies and come up with a plan that really works for you. So what time are you free later this week or next week? So for example, if we had the discovery call on a Monday, then I'd be like, are you free Thursday or Friday at all for us to quickly touch base, and then we can come to a decision then. So yeah, I don't leave the call until the next meeting is booked, and I make sure that they check that they receive the confirmation emails and things of that nature. And yeah, that would be the conclusion to the first meeting. So prior to the next call, what I would do is I would get my team to literally do a deeper dive, and I would take a look as well, put together a very formal proposal on a PDF with, the pricing structure, the roadmap for them and their business, and breaking down certain concepts that they might have wanted explained to them. And then I would just shoot them over that about like a few days before the next call is due. And then on the next call, I will then proceed to close them. So the structure of that call kind of goes, I build rapport again, just like have a casual conversation about how the week is going, ask about their work day, etc., are they tired, how they're feeling, blah, blah, blah. And then I quickly go over some of the expectations for the call. So how I would do that is I would preface the call with, we all know the purpose of this call. So I would then ask them to, only reply yes or no, and not give me a maybe at the end of the call. However, obviously you need to make sure that this call is happening with the decision makers and that you can actually close them on a call. So for example, if it's only with the head of marketing, then what I would do is I would make sure, to get the founders on and use this literally to just touch base and then address any questions on the proposal, and then book in the next meeting straight away with the decision makers. So yeah, after I preface the call with expectations, I would then do a screen share and go over the kind of proposal, tell them a bit more about the roadmap and the certain aspects of the roadmap that I'm particularly excited about. This is where I really go in depth on retargeting, because normally that's what I like talking about anyways. And maybe a creative strategy or two that I think is quite unique to me and that I'm really excited to share with them. And genuinely, like, all of my proposals has one or two of that unicorn dust that I feel like particularly passionate or excited about. So yeah, that's what I really go ham on. And then at the end of the proposal, before we move on to the price, I would then address any questions they have. So for example, they might ask, I don't know, oh, how would you target this demographic or whatever? And then I would explain it, blah, 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 address any concerns they have about the proposal so far. And then I would move on to asking for the close. So here is when we talk about the pricing structure. So I would talk about the kind of hours required on a monthly basis to deliver the service, and then the kind of scope of work is required. And then this is where, the 3-month minimum happens as well, because we only sign clients on a 3-month minimum. And then, obviously objections are going to happen. So handle those. How do I handle those is literally you first of all agree with them, because genuinely, most of the time, all of their objections are very, very reasonable. So it's just okay, cool, relate to them, handle the objections. And then at the end, it's hey, are we happy to go ahead with this? If so, great. So then you move on to the next step, which is where, you know, I invoice them and I send them a contract. I make sure to take payment on that call. Or if there's any genuine logistical issues, I make sure that the paperwork and the payment is done that day before I send them the onboarding link. So yeah, once you take payment and sign the contract, guess what? You have a client. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of this video. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like this is probably one of the most useful videos I've made thus far. I know I say this about all of my videos, but just because, like, you know, I don't sell any coaching or courses, so I really have no incentive on holding back any information. So yeah, also I'm aggressively giving away information at this stage just because I want to prevent myself from being even able to make a course later down on the road. But yeah, follow my Instagram up here, drop a like, comment down below any questions you have, and subscribe for more videos. Also, I'm going live every single Monday on my Instagram, 7 p.m. UK time, to do a Q&A. Oh, sorry, wait, 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. I can't remember what I said in yesterday's video. But 7 or 8 p.m. UK time every single week to do a live Q&A with you guys, just to address any questions, because I've been getting a load of like call requests from either subscribers or people I just know in the SMMA space. They kind of want to pick my brains, but like it's kind of getting to the point where I can't take all of the calls. So yeah, if you want to speak to me in person, live, jump on those Q&A sessions and I'll address any questions you may have. So yeah, have a good day, guys, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys.